Hello and welcome. On this channel, I talk a lot about relationships and especially relationships that are toxic or abusive, manipulative. So it seems like there's a lot of, negativity around relationships. But on this video today, I wanted to keep it light. I wanted to keep it positive, and I really want to shine some light into your situation and show you that there is light at the end of the end of the tunnel, and I want to help you get to that light. So today's video is going to be tools and techniques and things that you can do to glow up after your breakup, to glow up after your divorce, your breakup, and really start seeing that there is life and hope beyond this relationship. So, and if you are new to my page, my name is Irina, and I'm a Christian relationships coach. So I help people heal from divorce, from toxic, abusive relationships, to change their mindset and really step into a new version of themselves, a version that is confident, that has a high self-esteem. They know their identity and what they bring to this world, and maybe even find your calling and your purpose. Because when you heal and you step into wholeness, you begin to see life beyond just this breakup, life beyond just this divorce, right? And then it becomes more generational, and you can really build something different for your children if you have children, or really just step into a more healed version of yourself. So that is something that I do. And on today's video, I wanted to give you the techniques, how to glow up. Maybe you're already going through the breakup or through the divorce, or maybe you're still in it, but ideally you would want it, to work out, but it's not. And so you see that this might be coming to an end. And so it feels like you are 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but you're scared to be fully out. This video is definitely for you if you have kind of like fear of the future, fear of being alone and single again. This video is going to help you a lot. So I want to start with this. Just like falling in love can take some time, so does falling out of love with this person takes time, and kind of closing this chapter of your life can take some time too. So I want you to give yourself some grace and some mercy that it's going to take some time, but I want to support you, and I want you to know that that time is determined by you. You can heal faster depending on how deep you want to dive into this, and how fast you want to let go, how fast you want to forgive them, and how badly do you want your new life. So that is determined by you. Um, so if you are still in this relationship, right, but like I said, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, here is where you can start. Start healing and soothing your anxiety. When you feel like a relationship is coming to an end, a lot of anxiety starts creeping in because of all of the beliefs that are coming in and all of the thoughts, right? Like, I'm too old to start again, or the dating scene is so difficult. I don't want to be out there again. I already know them. Why can't this just work out? Or what am I going to do without them? How am I going to get by financially, right? All of these questions begin to stir up in you, and they make you anxious. So learn to self-soothe yourself. And one of those things can be even like talking to yourself and saying, hey, you know what? Everything's gonna be all right. Yes, we had love with this person, we had chemistry, we spent years or months with this person, and we've built beautiful memories, but it's time to let those go. And I'm thankful that I even got to make these kind of memories, right? So when you look at your situation from a grateful mindset, you are grateful that they were in your life, that you got to experience this type of love with somebody. Because imagine, there are people in this world that maybe never experienced being in a relationship. Maybe they never got married. Maybe they never got to experience certain memories, but you did. And so when you are thankful for them, it's easier to let it go and to start a new chapter in your life. So being in a gratitude type of mindset will really help you detach from that relationship. Also, um, start healing the part of you that feels like you're missing out. So if you are single, then it feels like you're missing out on like the family dynamic, or everybody's married, but you're not, right? So really learn to be in the present moment and in the season that you are in. Don't rush into the next season. So maybe if you are already single or going through a divorce and you're in a hurry to find your new partner, step into the next relationship, right? You're not really sitting in the present moment. You're not really fully in your single season. And this is maybe why you're attracting new partners that are not fully what you want them to be, because you never really enjoyed your single season. So learn to be all in the, you know, in the present moment. So if you're single, enjoy singleness. If you are stepping into the part of your life where you want to date and then potentially marry, start enjoying the dating scene, right? And then you will enjoy being in the married life. So whatever season you are in, enjoy it. And when you have that type of mentality, things begin to look differently, because there's actually a lot of beauty in the single season, and I will get to it a little bit later. But when you are single, you really get to build a beautiful relationship with yourself. You have more time for yourself. You have time to find out who you really are. What are your interests? What are your hobbies? You get to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Like, that's pretty cool. And so there's beauty in being in a relationship, but there's also beauty in being single as well. And I am all for relationships. We are human and we are made for relationships and to produce and reproduce, right? And in order to do that, like, we need to be in a relationship. But in order to attract a healed person, you want to be healed as well. So you want to be whole in order to attract somebody whole. Next thing I want you to do is to start focusing and putting your energy into yourself. So instead of investing time and energy into the relationship, especially if it has ended or it's pretty much like ending, stop trying to make something work that should have been done maybe like a few months ago, and you're still kind of like dragging on. It's kind of like that wound that's open, but you keep like poking at it. It's gonna keep hurting until you let it go, you do the surgery, and you give it time to heal. But if this person is not good for you and you keep dragging, it's kind of like you're dragging the pain with you. Because let me tell you, if it already started going downhill, like, there's no uphill. If they already started being toxic and abusive and just hurting you over and over again, I'm telling you, the pain is only going to get worse until you let them go fully out of your life. And one way to do that is to start putting your time and your energy into yourself. So instead of putting your time and energy into the relationship or the other person, start helping and elevating your own self. And this is huge. So, and the areas that you can start rebuilding your own life is your emotional, your physical, and your spiritual self, right? So when you start rebuilding these three areas of your life, you're going to start being pretty busy. Like, if you're prioritizing your relationship with God, you're reading the Bible, you're praying, you're worshiping, you kind of have less time to think about the relationship that's going bad. When you are starting to go to the gym or going out for walks or jogging, right? Then you have less time to think about all the negativity. When you start, journaling or listening to podcasts, right? Or really starting to do this like self-growth thing, you have less time for negative things, for relationships that are holding you down. So naturally, when you make room for something else, when you start focusing on yourself, what is important to you, then you have less time for things that are not for you. So this is actually the key to getting to your power back from the other person that controls you. So when you say, you know what? No, today I'm gonna go for a walk. Today I'm not going to respond to your negative text message. I am going to spend some time with God. And that is you taking your power and control back. Also, if you don't really have a life outside of your partner, then they can easily control you. So, if you don't have very many friends, you don't have much of a social life, you don't really keep in contact with your friends and family, this is actually a very easy way for your partner to control you and for you to lose yourself in the relationship because it feels like your partner is the only thing that matters and everybody else is secondary or maybe they're even gone out of your life. So, and I know that as adults and grown-ups, it's harder to have those relationships because we're all busy with our lives. But if your relationship is going sour, if you guys are not doing well, that means you need to start putting some other people back into your life. And maybe instead of waiting for somebody to reach out to you, maybe you can be like, hey, let's go out for coffee. Hey, let's have like brunch together, right? And start rebuilding a new social life, maybe rebuilding some relationships with your family, maybe your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your cousins. Start hanging out with other people in your life. And this will also help you take the control from your partner and back into you. Because this is really huge. Because when you don't have much of a life, you're pretty predictable. You become kind of like boring, and when there is no spark in the relationship, the other person loses interest in you as well. So, in order to keep this like interest and spark in the relationship, you have to be not always available. You need to have a life of your own, and this is where power couples really make it work is that they have time together, but then they also have things that they do outside. Like if he's the guy, he's got his guy time. He maybe goes fishing or golfing, something with the guys. And then here you are, maybe you go out to like brunch or coffee with your friends, right? And this is healthy because you get you get like fulfilled from other people, right, in your life, and you kind of get new energy and new flow into you, and then you can put that like fresh refreshed energy into your relationship. But if it's all is like work and relationship, work and home, work, it gets kind of boring, right? So if there's like no date nights and if you guys don't spend any time apart, then it gets kind of like boring and predictable, and then this is why the relationships begin to drift apart because you guys are just spending too much time together. Okay, so this was kind of like for the people that are still in the relationship, but if you're already broken up and if you're broken up, but you're pretty anxious about being in a relationship, um, or like you're kind of afraid of the single season and you really want to like hurry up and get into the next season of your life. These are the tips for you. Don't be afraid of the single season. The reason why your relationships are not working out or they're not the type of relationships that you want to be in is because you haven't really fully stepped into a healed identity. So if you've been maybe divorced for some years or kind of like single and you're dating here and there but it's not really what you want, right? And that's because maybe you've avoided healing certain things, and maybe you've been in these like situationships or like friends with benefits type of things, right? And you actually want to heal from that because that's actually not really being like single, single. Single is when you don't really date. Maybe you only like date yourself if you really want to date, and you really focus in on healing your traumas, maybe even going as far deep as healing your inner child, and healing maybe some mom and dad wounds or anything that's coming from the past, and heal those areas of your life. Then you want to heal your not maybe heal, but step into a more better financial situation because when you are financially like struggling, you might be anxious about being in a relationship because not all of your needs are being met. So it's two areas. It's emotionally being independent and financially being independent. And I am all about like the traditional values, right? I'm all about where the man is the provider, he works. I'm all about that. But a woman is when she's very anxious around money and she can't really support herself or give her the things that she needs, you're going to be attracting different type of men, and they're usually the narcissistic, the manipulative ones, the abusive ones. When you don't close your own needs, like you should be able to afford to buy the things that you need. Because then, first of all, you can provide for your own life. And so it kind of sets a standard like, okay, if I'm already giving myself this type of life, is this man, able to give me this type of life or better, then yes, like, we can work on this relationship. But, if you are struggling financially and you can't really like meet your own needs financially, then it's going to cause you to attract these like narcissistic, manipulative, abusive men or partners or women. If you're a man and you're kind of struggling financially, you're going to be attracting these type of women that kind of suck your finances even more. Um, Next thing would be get into a secure attachment style. And I actually have another video and it talks about emotional attachments. And that is how we love in a relationship and how we receive love. So how we give and how we receive love. There is a video on that. You are free to check that out. More than welcome to check it out because the healthiest relationships are when it's two people that have a secure attachment style that can make a relationship last. Okay, and so if you are anxious, you'll be attracting more of the narcissistic type of people. If you are an avoidant, you will be attracting kind of people that are boring or they seem needy, or it could be like a combination of the two where you can't really pinpoint what it is, but nothing is clicking. Like these ones seem too narcissistic, but these seem boring, right? So that means you really haven't really stepped into a healed version of you and you haven't stepped into a secure attachment style because secure people, they know who they are and they know the type of partner that they want. So in the single season, the best thing to do is to fall in love with yourself and step into wholeness. And I don't mean the whole self-love where the world revolves around me and me, kind of like what the world teaches us, right? But it's really in self-love where you respect your time, you respect the people you hang out with, right? So you step into a disciplined person. And so this is healthy self-love. If I know that I need to wake up early, I have a whole routine that I do. I've got my morning prayers. I need to journal. I need to read the Bible, go to the gym. I need to work, right? You step into this like healthy lifestyle, then you will be able to attract people with the same interest. And when people come into your life that are kind of like all over the place, they don't manage their time well, it's just not going to sit well with you, especially when you heal. Your peace will become the most important thing in your life. And so when people are narcissistic or manipulative, you will really feel that and it will feel very uncomfortable to you. And so you begin to say no to these type of people much quicker instead of emotionally attaching to them, and then it becomes harder to let them go. Um, and so really start elevating emotionally, physically, and spiritually, kind of like what we talked about a little bit earlier. Because when you feel good about these areas of your life, then you're ready to date. When you feel like you're doing really good spiritually, really good physically, like your body's getting into a better shape, emotionally, you're doing better, you're way less anxious, you're not as fearful, right? And your anxiety has really calmed down. Only then are you really to date. I mean, you can date whenever you want, but if you want better partners, when your nervous system has calmed down, when it's much more soother, then you can attract much better partners. Because when you are healed, kind of like what I said, you can detect red flags much quicker and you can walk away from these people much quicker instead of emotionally investing into them. Because when you are kind of like anxious or you're afraid of being single, you kind of hold on to these people. Anybody that comes into your life, you have a hard time letting them go. But when you're secure in yourself, you're secure in your singleness, you don't mind letting people go that you feel they are not for you. And this is kind of the problem. And because people don't know when to walk away, like they know this relationship is not working out, but they're still kind of like holding on. They're still kind of like, well, maybe, and they keep hoping that maybe this partner will change, right? But like I said, maybe it's been time to walk away from this person so that you can attract somebody better into your life. Also, in the single season, you will get to know yourself better and it'll help you. Your intuition will guide you into more healthier partners. And so I want to end with this. So you want to master these two areas of your life. Learn to manage your own emotions. So take responsibility instead of blaming others. So instead of saying, well, he's narcissistic or he's this or she's that, right? And yes, they might be narcissistic, but they're narcissistic. So therefore, it is your choice to either keep engaging in that relationship or to walk away and start healing and you know um, build a new life. So that is your choice. Do you stay in this relationship or do you go? So you kind of take your power back instead of blaming the other person. So start taking your emotions under control, right? So if you're feeling anxious, okay, what can you change in your life so that you're less anxious? If you're very fearful, what can you control in your life? So maybe it's like finances. Okay, what can you do? Can you get a job? Can you apply for something? Maybe you're not able to. Maybe for now you need assistance, right? So figure out how, if it revolves money, what can you do to soothe yourself instead of blaming other people? And the last thing is learn to communicate. People either avoid or say too much, but when you can be kind of the balance of the two and knowing when do you speak up about your needs or when do you just let this person go, you're done saying, they already know exactly what you need. Mastering these two areas of your life, knowing when to say something and when to avoid it or ignore it or just let it go, will help you tremendously. So I hope this video helps you glow up and start elevating your life and really not being afraid of the single season. And it's not that I am all about, the single season or I want to promote it or I want, re relationships to break up, people to break up. No, I am all for relationships, but I am all about healthy relationships. And one way to be in a healthy relationship is to be healthy yourself, to be secure, and having just an abundant life. All of these things will get you from heartbroken to an abundant life. So, if these tips were helpful for you, start implementing them in your life, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.